do pretty standard routes, but we'll just have to wait and see. Here they go, they're off. So, beginning of the game, pretty standard across pretty much every category, every route. There's not a whole lot to say, but we'll probably see both of them tackle cleaning up Brinstar later rather than earlier, because earlier you have to do some tight bomb jumps that are really tough, and it's not really that worth it unless you get it perfectly, but we'll see that when we get there. So far it looks like Eagle had a little bit of a snafu with some of the enemies, but it's not a big deal. It's a very slight difference. There's a lot that can happen. It's a long run, got over an hour, and there's a lot of tricks to do, and some of them are very difficult. So especially early on, we'll see a lot of like back and forth probably. Heading up into the climb in Blue Brinstar. Oh, falling. Not too bad. Stream's buffering a little bit. A little trouble getting into the little hideaway from Boxmeister, but nothing too serious as they head over to the first mini-boss of the game, the Cave Worm. And they have to get their missiles here because everything else pretty much... not sure about Long Beam. I think you can get Long Beam, but it's obviously slower. Is inaccessible without missiles. Going for the double missile strategy, Eagle, he misses it both times. That's unfortunate, but he does get some drops. It's Boxmeister finishing up his Cave Worm faster. And I believe he just went for single missiles on all those. Double missile is a very hard strategy that a lot of top runners go for. You can get it fairly consistent, but it's just one of those tricks that, some days you just don't get it, and that's that. But they do pick up Charge Beam. It is faster to pick up Charge Beam now rather than later, because you can just jump through some enemies. It saves you a little bit of hassle. They head to the dreaded room right here, Hive Room. All these hives take 3 missiles and 2 shots. Missile is worth 10 regular shots. They're going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Got a little bit of sync going here, and they're both through. No real problems. The biggest thing you want to avoid is having to do an extra lap around those blocks there. Looks like you're going through pretty well. This is the room you'd fight that the worm that's guarding Charge Beam if you missed it the first time. But obviously no problems there. We're heading off to get bombs, which is typically the first split in a run. Kind of your first indication of how you're doing. See how it goes. Both runners so far are playing really well. A lot of tight movement, and they're executing fairly well. So 138 and a 140, or not 338 and a 341 bombs. So that's just a couple seconds difference as we go behind the bombs and get another missile expansion. See plenty of those. Coming up here we have a slight RNG section. There's bugs that fall down. You have to bomb all of them. But the way they move is random, and having so many bugs, you see with Eagle, there's one that was just stuck up there for a long time, and that cost him his slight lead. Because Boxmeister got much better bug RNG. Oh, and looks like Eagle is going up. This is very interesting. This is the early Brinstar route I mentioned earlier. He's going to go up here, and he's going to collect a bunch of items, going to clean up the upper part of Brinstar right now. And it ends up saving a very small amount of time over cleaning it up later. But he will have some items available to him sooner that he can take advantage of. So we'll have to see how that plays out. It's going to look like he's about 2 minutes behind for most of the run. and then he will reconvene when they go to Turian. So that should be pretty interesting. Boxmeister just doing the regular late Brinstar cleanup route, and he's gonna make a beeline straight for Kraid. At least Kraid's lair. So you see Eagle having to do some more tricky bomb jumps. That's the thing that's so much harder about doing this Brinstar area earlier, is you don't have power grip, you don't have high jump, you don't have, screw attack even. There's a lot of items that would slightly speed up your movement, especially with power grip. That makes a lot of things significantly easier, and by not having it, you have to instead do bomb jumps, which can be much more difficult. But he seems to be having no trouble with that. Doing a great job getting that E-Tank. That does give him an extra E-Tank, which could allow him to potentially skip healing at one of the points when we go through the heated rooms, but still a ways off, and we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Boxmeister entering Kraid, heading behind the save room for his first missile tank of the area. Now, right here for Boxmeister, his missile count is really important, because there's not going to be another situation where we heal up and refill our ammo for a while, and he has to fight a boss called Acid Worm, who takes 30 missiles to kill. So he's going to farm up there, get a few more, and that should help him. He has 2 more missiles to kill Acid Worm, but the problem is you want to have 10 missiles after the fight as well to kill some enemies later. So he'll have to watch out for that, and he has a tricky bomb jump coming up right here with those blocks in the enemy, and gets it no problem. Meanwhile, Eagle is now just leaving Brinstar. He's just got to collect a few items, and he's on his way, but again, looks like he's behind. In reality, he has already gotten some items out of the way. And that will also help with his missile count. By getting extra missiles, he's not going to have to worry, like Boxmeister. Oh no, he got hit through the door. He has to get some missiles here from these bugs. I don't know what strat he's doing to get him, yeah. So, like I said, he needs 30, but he definitely like more. He has 40 missiles total, and he's going to go in with 35. So now he needs to hope for 3 drops from Acid Worm if he doesn't miss any of his shots. He can afford to miss 1 and get 3 drops and be fine. Here we go, here's the fight, as Eagle is just entering Kraid. So, and Eagle, like I said, Boxmeister had like 22 missiles, I think, at that point. And Eagle has 31, so huge discrepancy there. And Boxmeister getting the drops he needs, a good pattern with the crab enemies, not having to waste a missile on them. And he's doing fine. He had 11 leaving the fight. The reason you need 10 is because you get that missile expansion there, and then we're going to get another one on our way out of this area, which will boost our number from 10 to 20. And we have 2 enemies later, these giant side hoppers we have to kill. And they take 10 missiles each. So, again, a missile is 10 regular shots. So it's much, much faster to use only missiles on them rather than have to make up 1 drop with 20 extra shots. Eagle getting the bomb jump, no problem. Skipping power grip. As Boxmeister getting a few more drops. Kind of lucky there. Making his way over to the Acid Worm skip room, even though in 100% we already fight Acid Worm. Tricky bomb jump again, diagonal, no problem. Great job from Boxmeister, as Eagle, with 39 missiles, is coming up on Acid Worm, and he did not have to refill, because again, he decided to go that early Brinstar route, pick up some more missiles, and some other expansions, and it really pays off in the long run. Ending the fight at 14. Boxmeister's in the room with the giant side hoppers, putting those missiles to good use. making short work of him. As Eagle is now catching up a little bit. Like I said, Eagle is favored to win this. He's been, running the game for a long time, has a very strong PB, was a former world record holder. So we should see strong performance from him, especially with this much more difficult route. As Boxmeister tackles the lovingly named worst room or most boring room in the game. Sorry. Got confused with my Super Metroid. Getting through no problem. The Eagle is heading over to the Acid Worm skip room. The room Boxmeister is coming up in here with all these pipes with the enemies. I always have a hard time with that room. There's a lot going on. You have to missile certain enemies. You have to missile a certain block. He goes for a refill glitch and is unfortunately unsuccessful. That's okay. He still gets the refill anyways, and we need that because we need all those missiles for the crate fight he's got coming up. Meanwhile, Eagle doing a diagonal there instead of the bomb jump strat that you normally see to take out the giant side hoppers. Gets plenty of drops. He will not really need those coming up because he will refill when he gets the unknown item. We'll see. Boxmeister has I believe a 4-frame shot coming up right here. See if you can get it. No, unfortunately he misses it. That is a very, very tight shot. You have to shoot the block, but you have to do so when you're high enough up that you can still move yourself into that area. Otherwise, you have to either bomb jump or go around. And now he will fight Kraid. So we're looking for a 2-cycle. He's shooting his missiles. He's doing single missile jumps, which I believe is not fast enough for a 2-cycle, but still a very safe strategy. Fortunately, falling down. I think it's, there he goes. 1 hit. Cycle, not terrible. Getting those double missiles can be very difficult because you have to shoot a missile on your way up and then jump a little bit higher than you normally would, and then shoot one on your way down to get those missiles at the perfect height and at the fastest rate. It can be very difficult for a lot of runners. I don't go for it. Eagle will probably attempt that as Boxmeister picks up the speed booster and begins his way out of Kraid's lair. Meanwhile, we see Eagle coming up on the Kraid fight and the 4-frame trick. I believe it's 4 frames, not positive. And he gets it. So that's what that would normally look like. So let's see. Goes in. There's the double missiles. First mouth opening. Oh, and looks like it's 3 cycles. So not bad, but 2 again is best you can get. And he's not that much better than Boxmeister, but see Boxmeister wall jumping to get out. You can get a speed boost leaving Kraid, but unfortunately he was not able to get it. I missed what happened. Probably the enemy. There's an enemy that's in a really unfortunate location leaving there, and you can missile him, but if you don't, then you're probably going to get hit and lose your speed boost. It's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Eagle making his way out of Kraid's lair, same way Boxmeister did, and it is getting a lot closer considering the huge divergence in route we saw earlier. This is going to be a bigger tear apart from them once they head to Torian later on. As Eagle heads into the jump, misses the sub-pixel perfect trick there to shoot that red button, and it makes the little grabby guy move sooner. Still making impressive movement and opting to just do the jumps out instead of the Shine Spark. This Boxmeister's heading over to... Oh, he's going for the Spark. Let's see if we can get it. It's a very tight window, and he starts good so far. These are a lot of very, very tight boosts, and he gets it. That saves a bit of time, and quite frankly, I would say is not quite worth it. It's worth it to try, but in the long run, it's just so difficult. Props to Boxmeister for pulling it off. As Eagle is just leaving Kraid's lair and about to get his E-Tank and head on over. Boxmeister having to make the divergence left. All the stuff in Norfair pretty much is to the right of where you enter. But there's some vines that can only be eaten away at by the bugs. And there's no bugs in that room. So those vines just magically disappear once you've collected the power grip, which is a really nice item to have. It's 100%. We have to get it anyways. But it is a shame that there's such an arbitrary obstacle in our path. It was just something the developers put in. They said you can't progress in Norfair without power grip, which, it would have been probably better for something you would have needed the power grip for instead of just a wall. But that's that. There's a lot of really cool routing in this game, but some of the threats are a little less than. So we see Eagle has just entered Norfair. He's going to be making his way over. Boxmeister getting the first super missiles of the run. This is another example where the developers are nice. They made it you just need speed booster to get these missiles, and you can definitely do Kraid without power grip. But for whatever reason, they made this possible, but not power bombs. Power bombs, you have to wait till the very end of the game to get. It was just kind of unfortunate. It's the Eagle getting his unknown item, and Boxmeister's going to go for the double infinite bomb jump to escape the room. Oh, he misses it. He's going to have to do the wall jump as a backup. Doesn't lose a whole lot of time, but still unfortunate. Meanwhile, Eagle coming up to get his super missiles. His first pair. He goes for the regular stray. Saved a little bit of time by not going up onto the platform and just wall jumping up off of the side of it. Which is nice to see. We saw in the race earlier, I believe Scotty W went for the jump bomb jump off the top of the pillar and just went strictly right, saving some time there. So that is a very tight trick, very difficult to do. Now Eagle has his power grip. One of the best and worst items in the game. It helps you a lot. It's always a pain when you don't have it and you need it. Oh, and he missed the double bomb jump as well. But as we'll see in some parts later, it can be annoying to have power grip and have it go off when you don't want it to. But it's very hit or miss. Most of it's good though. See Boxmeister getting his items, his missiles, and heading up towards Ice Beam. Eagle might try and do a different route and skip Ice Beam and pick it up a little bit later. That's a route called New Fair that saves some time, potentially. It has you can potentially skip a heal because you go through one less heated room, and you go through it later, and then you pick up a missile tank on your way downwards, which saves the 7 seconds for the route. See. Just getting the missile like normal. There's also a spark you can do here. It doesn't look like he's going for it. Called Ice Cream Spark. It's, I believe, pixel perfect. To spark through the room, the eagles, and very, very difficult trick. Not a lot of runners go for it. And by him getting Ice Beam now, it looks like he's opting not to go for New Fair, which is a fair play. A lot of people just prefer not to go for it. I definitely don't. It's definitely something up to personal preference, and that's something that's really great about Zero Mission is there's a lot of route deviations that you can make, and they all come very close to each other in terms of time, so it can be just a personal preference on what route you choose to do. So you see Boxmeister getting another super missile through the heated room as Eagle enters his first heated room. Oh no, Boxmeister fell in the lava. He's gotta get out and get that speed boost. That room takes almost 100 health, I believe. Oh, okay, he got the missile. We'll see. It's gonna be a little close. He might need to farm up a bit. I don't know. He's fine. As Eagle enters that same room. Oh, that's a nice spark. I've never actually seen that one before. Sparking over to high jump. Yeah, he definitely needs to heal here. Most people would anyways, but regardless, he's at very little health. It's Eagle retracing Box's steps. Gets that missile tank no problem. It can be a really tough one. There's a couple setups that different people use because you have to be at like the very top of your jump, the highest apex in order to get it, and it can be difficult sometimes. And Boxmeister making the long trek through this giant heated room. This is definitely what we need that heal for, all that energy. Opting to kill the giant side hopper. Interesting to simply save the super missiles instead. Well, it depends, because he does have quite a bit of health. He could elect to skip the heal at Screw Attack, which it looks like he's going to. Yeah, he did. And picks up his missiles. So, I don't know how I feel about that play. I think if I was gonna... Oh, taking some damage. Yeah, I don't know. Eagle skipped his heal earlier. He skipped the heal at high jump. And now, I believe has to heal here, yeah. Screw Attack has one of the easiest setups for doing a refill glitch. Neither of them went for it. It barely saves any time. You only refill during the first text box that appears on the screen when the game is showing you your status. You're not actually healing. And it just finishes the heal after that screen goes away. So again, it's not that much time. Oh no. This is kind of bad. Okay. He needs health really badly. Boxmeister. Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, no. F in the chat for Boxmeister. An unfortunate death there. He should just restart the game and restarting his timer. Just keep going. That's the best thing you can do. Yeah. Because a forfeit loses so much time. Even a 24-minute difference is definitely worth it. I think it's like 9 hours or something that your time gets entered in as if you forfeit. So even like dying at the end of the game, it's better to, if you have the time available, to just do a second run. Eagle picks up Wave Beam. So there's definitely incredibly unfortunate to see But you just gotta make do. He took the riskier strat and skipped the heal at screw attack, and it unfortunately did not pay off. But sometimes that's just how it goes. This can be a pretty unforgiving game sometimes, especially since there's never really a reason to save the game. So you just have to heal up and play your best. So as you see, Eagle about to make his way to the Imago Cocoon. This is probably my least favorite of all the mini bosses. And yes, Box did unfortunately die in the second to last heated room, I believe. The one where you get the missile tank. And even still, he had one more after that. But the one after that, luckily, there's one jump in it. And that you always take... Oh, what's going on here? Boxmeister took a little dip in the lava. You always take 45 damage going through the second speed boost room that's heated. So he's fighting Charge Worm again as Eagle is entering Ridley's lair. And he's going to immediately leave. So we do have to go down there to set the flag that we've been there. There's nothing you can do. You're blocked on all sides. You just have to go up and then realize the Imago Cocoon is now hatched, or whatever you would call that, and has become the Imago, his true form. Eagle unfortunately missing the faster strat on that. Usually you want to take him out when he goes to the right, but doing what looked like the appropriate backup for that. And hopefully, this is a very tight spark here. Looks like he's got it. Spark across this room. It's incredibly tight. You have to. The hardest part is shooting the missile in the first, the diagonal missile, and charging it at the same time, charging the spark. Very difficult, but Eagle getting it no problem. Boxmeister making his way through Hive Room for the second time. Doesn't seem to be having too many problems with that. Good for him. Eagle looking at Ice Clip. There's a trick where you freeze two enemies, stand on them, destroy them, and then the game thinks, oh, you're standing on this enemy, and now it's gone. We'll put you on the other enemy, but oh, that enemy, it's gone. Well, we'll put you on the other enemy, so the other enemy is also dead. So it puts you at where the enemies spawn, which is the pipe in the floor, and then you just go through the floor. And that saves a ton of time because you'd have to quite a ways into the... okay, Eagle missing the diagonal out of there, having to go all the way up. Because the party's going through now, this top path, that's where you would have to go to build up the speed boost normally for breaking that floor if you didn't ice clip through it. Boxmeister picking up bombs. Very solid. See how he does on the bugs. Well, a very nice bug pattern. They were very cooperative today. I think he had pretty good bugs earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Eagle facing off with another puzzle. Oh! Look at that, Boxmeister! Looks like he's attempting early Brinstar. That is definitely an interesting play. That's what Eagle went through earlier. Oh, almost. And props to him for trying a different route on his second try. Unfortunately, missing those bomb jumps means it probably won't save time, but it will make later parts of the game easier. Eagle gets his speed jump first try. That is a 4-frame trick. There's no other way to do it. The developers put a missile behind a 4-frame jump, which is very unkind of them. But having no problem with that, making his way through, getting his items on his way to Ridley. Boxmeister cleaning up Brinstar early, getting all those items up top. He gets a couple extra missiles and an energy tank up here. But these bomb jumps are very tricky. Oh, he misses it. Because you don't have power grip, you don't have high jump, you definitely don't have space. So, see what he tries to do. I definitely mad respect to him for attempting this route. I've never completed an early Brinstar route. It's just really difficult, really demanding on your bomb jumps. And to make a mistake and to come out of it, you know, just trying something new, I think is really cool. As Eagle getting his super missiles, his last tank before he faces off with Ridley. So we'll see how he does with that. And he has tons of health. Wow. Because usually we only have one less, but still, like, it's weird to see that second row this early. Usually you get it with the energy tank he's going to pick up now, but we'll see. And he gets the unknown item, which is actually Gravity Suit, his energy tank, and he's ready to fight Ridley. It's Boxmeister coming up on his last bomb jump of early Brinstar. See how he does. And he gets it no problem. And Eagle makes quick work of Ridley as he screams in pain. It is a very, very high-pitched scream. Boxmeister now making his way back. That's right, he has to go back to get the missile tank here. He looped around. And 4 super missiles for Eagle. You do want to watch your drops here. 4, in my opinion, is a little low. I would feel much more comfortable with 6, but you know, you get what Ridley gives you. You can arm those owls there, or when you run through the room before, you can run through a bunch of enemies and you can heal up there. Opting not to do that will probably see him kill some owls after Jumpy. Successful Jumpy. And that is it. That is the last missile tank of Ridley's lair. We will never come back to this area. Well, Eagle will never come back to this area. Whoa, the triple. I believe those owl enemies have a 75% chance to drop super missiles, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very likely one of the easiest enemies to get super missiles off of. But still, 75% chance getting that 3 times is still pretty lucky, and 10 is a very solid number to be at. This Boxmeister is making his way into Kraid's lair. Got a ton of missiles. He is set for the acid worm fight coming up. And Eagle is now on his way. He has killed Kraid, he's killed Ridley, and he's cleaned out Brinstar. So all he really is to grab Longbeam and head on up to Turian. Or Torian. There's a lot of areas and items and various things in the series, and people pronounce them in many different ways. So as we see Boxmeister tanking some hits on his way to Acid Worm. Still has to make those bomb jumps, but as we've seen, pretty solid with his bomb jumps. Eagle interesting strategy for his ball spark. Usually you see people bomb the floor there, but that is definitely, I don't know if it's faster, but it's definitely comparable to that. There's a lot of different strategies people do, and it's, again, just how comfortable someone is. You know, you can choose your own route, especially with the micro routing. There's so many small decisions you can make. So now the long beam, all he has left to do is to go and enter Turian as Boxmeister enters the fight with Acid Worm. Takes his dip in the acid, which may or may not actually be lava. Gets a nice 2 cycles. Has plenty of missiles. And will make his way onwards. Again, a good pattern from the crab enemies. I don't know what else you would call those guys. They're very annoying, especially the red ones. That, spiders, yeah. I don't know, the big eyes are the biggest thing. The red ones, actually, when you kill them, their eyes will, like, fall and hurt you. So you have to watch out for that in a couple rooms. Notably near the end of the game. Somewhat. In the last area, at least. Eagle's now facing off against the Metroid. He needs to be aware of talent, because to get a really fast fight against Mother Brain, you really want to have at least 4 super missiles. His stream's stuttering a little bit, but it looks like it's down to 5 and he's going to stay at 5. So each Metroid needs to be frozen and then either shot with 1 super missile or 5 regular missiles. And he got, looks like, some decent drops there. Put him at 8. Like I say, he's not going to want to drop below 4. Because Mother Brain, you need, you shoot 4 missiles and then 1 super missile in her eye. And you do that 4 times, and that's what you need to take her out. Boxmeister miscounting his missiles there. The giant side hopper. Eagle's stream is still stuttering a little bit, but his audio seems to be fine. Probably just a internet issue. I know he mentioned earlier he's having some difficulties with his capture card, so we'll see. He's through all the Metroids and is going to make his way to Mother Brain's chambers. Boxmeister in the most boring room in the game. Eagle making short work of all the Zebatites. Only has 4 super missiles. If you have any extra missiles, any extra supers, that is, the best place to use them would be on the glass, as that takes 20 regular missiles and 4 super missiles. But he has no problem at all, makes short work of Mother Brain, and begins the escape. And actually, Mother Brain and Kraid, during the Kraid fight, and I can point that out, you can't walk past them. But it's not a wall, it's like a barrier that just moves your position backwards if you pass it. So it looks like you're not moving, but you can run in place and build up. So he used that to escape a little bit quicker. We'll probably see Boxmeister go for that too when he gets there. And the nice escape from Eagle. Looks like he's going to be sub 40. Boxmeister, second try at the... Again, I think it's a 4-frame trick to shoot the block here. See if he gets it. There, nice. Saves having to go down and around the side. So now let's see how he does on Kraid. His last fight was a 4 cycle. See, there's 1, 2nd, 3rd, 1 missile away. And we, oh, no, 2. He gets another 4 cycle. You see he's up against that invisible, not wall, just barrier. If you had Speed Booster, you could build it up in that room, but Unfortunately, that would only be useful in like a randomizer because Speed Booster is past that barrier. Eagle in the probably longest cutscene in the game, losing his power suit and entering suitless. I would be very surprised if Eagle did not heal here. Healing is definitely the smarter option, especially in a race. Most top runners do not normally refill their health, but we'll see. That's usually in a PB attempt where it would lose time, and if you die, then it's whatever. But if Eagle doesn't heal and then dies, then that's a huge time. So we'll see. I should mention the space pirates do 100 damage if you touch them or if they shoot you. Nice map skip. So with and he heals. Boxmeister unfortunately missing his speed jump. That's okay. He can retry it in a little bit faster. But yeah, these if you don't heal, any hit from any pirate will kill you. There are some like eyes on some of the walls that do like 16 damage, I think. And let's see, Eagle going for a trick right here. He hit the tripwire. Normally you would skip it, but he's gonna have those two pirates shoot each other and immediately turn off the alarm because no one's looking for him. That is a trick that's very, very new and is known as tripwire skip, because normally you would skip the tripwire and save a little bit of time, but in this case you skip that skip and do hit the tripwire and turn it off faster in the next room. So it's tripwire, skip. Boxmeister out of Kraid's lair. And he did that early Brinstar, so... Well, that's not yet. Thing later. He just has to go to Norfair. That's right. All these different routes and... Oh! Eagle missing the fast searchlights. Hitboxes on those are really wonky, and you can kind of like crouch. It's an interesting backup. Wow. Definitely a lot faster than hiding in the room with the bomb walls. I'll have to remember that for my runs. But you can get the fast searchlights by ducking under the last one and then running out. It's pretty difficult, but a lot of top runners are, really good. Boxmeister unfortunately getting hit, missing his Shine Spark in this room. It's a really tough trick. He got it the first time, which was really impressive. Definitely shown that there's a lot of tough tricks in this game, and he's going for them, and he's for the most part really admirable. And I still can't believe he won early Brinstar. Just a huge thing. But I guess if you have nothing to lose, might as well try something new. I don't know if he I don't know how familiar he is with early Brinstar, but I would imagine not many people go for it, so we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, Eagle going through his suitless section. Suitless is the most consistent area of the game. There's even a room like this where we have what's known as Samstrat, where you turn off the alarm just by moving through it and shooting the first pirate. Everything is so calculated because all the pirates, their movement, where they start and where they move, is always the same every run, no matter what, no RNG. They will change their movement depending on where you are, but you're in control of that, and that's not random, and they're pretty easy to manipulate most of the time. We'll see a little bit more of that later. Especially in this next room. There's a lot of pirates, but you have a pretty easy way to get through it, only paralyzing 2 of them. You just shoot in the crook of that little bend there. It gives you just enough time to make it through. I always wonder, when you leave that room, you can just run right through it. But when you go back there later, there's some power bomb blocks blocking your way. There's not a lot of like explanation. That's just another arbitrary like map change that the developers made. I don't know. I feel like that one especially is kind of unnecessary. It just requires a power bomb. And we'll see that later when we get out of the way power bombs. Boxmeister picking up power grip. That'll definitely help a lot in the areas he has coming up, as well as removing those dreaded vines. He's attempting the double bomb jump. Looks good so far. And he gets it. Nice. Eagle, meanwhile, about to fight Charlie. Doesn't look like he took a single hit. Which doesn't mean that the heal that he made was, not worth it. That refill does help because for whatever reason, this is way above my pay grade. If you get hit by Charlie, he will be vulnerable like 3 seconds faster. Boxmeister not moving. I'm not sure what happened there, but seems to be fine now. So because Eagle is at full health, he can damage himself by shooting the sigil when it is not vulnerable. And the sigil is only damaged by a fully charged shot. And it is random. Like I said, it's slightly faster if you happen to get hit. So we'll Boxmeister going for a save. Nice. That was a really quick, definitely on the last hit for Charlie. Unable to get the glitch, unfortunately. But very good fight from Eagle. Charlie has a lot of RNG. There's a lot of strange stuff going on with that. I don't fully understand all of it. And Boxmeister looks like he's going for New Fair, I believe. Another route divergence. Really, really interesting to see him going for all these, different strats, showing us something different than the first time. Mad respect for that. This Eagle is now fully powered up and going to make his way on the very long trek to get Power Bomb. And Eagle Boxmeister had a little trouble. That room. Oh, he missed the missile. I believe the optimal strat is to then get that missile at the end of the game. Just not worry about it for now. And that's what he's doing. So he just needs to remember that he missed that. And he's just going to head over and get high jump. I'm not sure. He doesn't have Ice Beam. I don't know if you need it, but he's not going to have Ice Beam for Ridley's lair. He's not going to get Ice Beam for a while. He's doing late ice, which is different from New Fair. Definitely much more different and riskier, honestly. This is a crazy, crazy route. But I hope it goes well. Eagle making his way through the pirates, no problem. Especially when he's so powerful. And the part of the game... Oh! Yeah, Box missing the refill glitch. Not a big deal. It was less than a second. The part Eagle's on, you go such a long stretch of the game. There's a lot of interesting movement, but you don't pick up any items. So it is kind of a, weird thing where, Super Metroid and some other games where you get 100%, it's a much more fluid, between item pickups. You pick up an item, then there's not a lot of downtime before picking up the next one. Whereas Zero Mission, there's just a couple that are really unfortunately placed, and kind of out of the way. Could definitely save a ton of time if we had ways to get like power bombs early, but doesn't look like that's gonna likely ever happen. Boxmeister in the dreaded heated room. It killed him once before, but he has way more health now, and he should definitely fine. And like I said, you do need 45 health leaving that room, but he has plenty. 391 is much more than 45. Eagle, still on his way, still hasn't picked up an item. Like I said, it's a long trek where you just don't get anything. And then these rooms are rooms that you have to go through again anyways later. Because Eagle is going to go right up to the final boss, Mecha Ridley, right up before his room, and say, you know what, I'm going to go get power bombs. And alright, and then comes out of the power bomb room and then says, you know what, I'm going to do a whole loop through the entire planet, pick up a bunch of items, and then come back to this very same spot. And that's just how the map is laid out. Speedrunning wise, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool movement, but it is just an unfortunate consequence of the map, and partly due to power bombs only be accessible right here. Looks like Eagle's getting ready to lay a power bomb. Yep, there he goes. So that's, I believe, ever so slightly faster, but that's not the route I do. That's not the route most people do. Usually you would freeze one of the pirates and clip through the door, and then you would break it on the other side since you need a power bomb anyways, saving you a power bomb, letting you do an extra route, because power bombs are tight. You get 2 per expansion. And Boxmeister is doing new fair. Oh, he misses the spark. Sorry, I was misinformed earlier. Not misinformed, but I'm just not familiar with new fair. I believe he could have taken the ball cannon there, because I was unsure. But I remember earlier someone did new fair, and that I forgot that is right. You go back up right here, and this is what saves a lot of time. Skipping this heated room and skipping Ice Beam is a huge part of that time save, because you can be more powered here. You can go through that heated room without having to heal. He's not getting Ice Beam, or no? He's going to Ice Beam. Yeah, good. And he also needs to keep it in mind. I'll probably open up the SRL chat and send them a message reminding them to get that missile, just out of courtesy, because you'd hate to see him have to do a third run just for missing a single missile. The one in the heated room with the speed boost. Meanwhile, Eagle going for a trick known as glass tube. You lay a power bomb, and then you get a speed boost over this glass tube. Now, the glass tube breaks. That glass tube is completely broken forever. Going for the safer strat. Nice. If you don't get that speed boost and don't carry it all the way to get that energy tank, you cannot go back and get it. You can't reload the room. You can't do anything. That is just a completely inaccessible item from that room. You have to then go down and go through a whole lot of other stuff to get it. And so usually it gets saved for later and is a huge route deviation. And it's typically faster to get power bombs there. Eagle just left lottery room. Call it lottery room because there's about a 1 in 25 chance of getting a power bomb drop. I don't believe he got one. Doesn't look like it. So at least he got the glass tube. He is not doing door clip, so a lot of really interesting and a little more unusual routes, which I like to see. It makes it different from some of the other races. I believe Eagle is doing the same route though that Scotty W did in the race. earlier. But he does have to do this, which I believe is Ming Li Spark. It's a chain of speed boost. That's not Ming Li, is it? No. I'm still a little. I'm pretty new to the scene. I don't know all the names of some of the tricks. A lot of them have kind of weird names. But he just has to do a long but he gets through it, no problem. Gets this power bomb tank. And he is, yeah, and because he had to do that chain of sparks, that definitely means that he did not get a power bomb drop in Lottery Room, which is just the price you have to pay. Boxmeister, doing a nice clean Imago fight. See if he goes for the spark afterwards. Coming up. Fortunately, he did not get it. That's fine. It's a very difficult trick. I don't think I've ever gotten it. I think I mentioned earlier. He's going to want to get that super missile drop. Meanwhile, Eagle coming up on the Torian Space Boost. See if he actually goes where he might go for... No, he's space boosting. There's a much harder strat to do there, involving a Shine Spark, but it's really hard, and the Space Boost is much easier. You have a much wider window. Boxmeister coming up on Ice Clip. There are a couple different variations of ways to do the Ice Clip. We'll see. Looks like he's doing the regular one. Oh, unfortunately, wasn't able to get it. I believe he needs to pick up that health, or it'll probably despawn. Yeah. It can be tough. He's doing the one that I do, where you spin jump into that little ledge, and it lines you up perfectly for the two bugs, so you're at the same level. Otherwise, it can be pretty difficult. Meanwhile, Eagle making his way back into Crate for some pretty out-of-the-way items. Well, really only one item that's out of the way that we have to get. You need Speed Booster and Gravity Suit. You can only get Gravity Suit after you fought Charlie and done the whole suitless section, and you need to go to Kraid before then to kill Kraid. So this missile tank here, this is the best time we can get it. But since we're coming back now, it is easier. Oh, he bonked. That's unfortunate. On Boxmeister missing his spark as well. Because we have to make a return trip to Kraid, then it makes more sense to skip some items earlier and to then get them now, when we're all powered up and have to take the shortcut to Norfair anyways. Which is nice that that shortcut exists. There's a lot of things like that. It's like the developers, they thought ahead. They thought, oh, let's put a shortcut between Kraid and Norfair that you can only use when you have power bombs, and like that'll be nice for routing and speedrunning, but some of the other decisions just really don't make a lot of sense. Boxmeister finally making that spark and skipping the map, very important. He makes his way across the long hallway. Oh, the standing spark, or not standing, vertical spark. That's a nice backup though, only running left. The speed you move at when sparking is faster than even running with charge speed, I believe. So, it does save a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Eagle getting what we call early power bombs. It's the only power bomb tank in the game you can get before the intended first one. The catch is, you can't get it and then make it out alive. Oh, Boxmeister bonking again. He is in the thick of it. There are a lot of puzzle rooms and Shine Spark strat that you just gotta make your way through in Ridley. But it's got the second time. Eagle doing the Space Boost. You have the option of doing a much safer but slightly slower spark. The spark itself is faster, but having to stop your movement and then walk for part of it makes it slower. Oh. Missing the first puzzle room. Very unfortunate. But like I said, these puzzle rooms can be very, very difficult. And I miss them every now and then too. Especially the one coming up after this, the speed jump, as I believe it's called. An eagle taking the reverse path of that room as a spark, as opposed to a speed boost. I believe the spark might be faster. You do bonk at the end, and that loses a little bit of time. I'm not sure. Boxmeister, unfortunately, second puzzle room, the speed jump, missing it. It is a 4-frame trick. That is how the developers intended it. It's just really tight. Gets it. Nice. And judging by the way the blocks were destroyed, it looks like he got like the last possible frame. That's definitely not the pattern I normally get, but it works, and that's all that really matters. We see him making his way to get these missiles, and then he will be off after a few more missiles to Ridley. Eagle cleaning up Norfair. He has all of Ridley done, all of Kraid done. He cleaned up Brinstar. He has all of Brinstar done. All he has left is this one missile tank for Norfair, some items in Criteria, and some items in Chozodia. But he will not be returning to Brinstar. He will not be returning to Kraid or Ridley's area, and once he leaves here, he will not be returning to Norfair. He's nearing the very end of the game. And let me pull up again. Where was it? Eagle's PB is a 1:10:13, which is a very, very good time. There's only a few people that have gotten 1:10s. Let's see. 5 people. 5 runners ever with 1:10 PBs on the leaderboard. 3 of them have run 109s. Sam, I believe I was told earlier, he got a 109, but it was not recorded. So it's not on the leaderboard, but still doing it once. It's very difficult. I don't know if we'll see... I'd be very, very surprised if we saw a 109, but I think we'll definitely see a 110 or 11. Your Destructor in the chat is a 110. Well, Boxmeister on his way to fight Ridley, passing through the Ridley. And this Super Missile Eagle just got... It's the last item he's going to get for a little bit. He's got to go way out of the way for what we call out-of-the-way power bombs, because they're really far out of the way. Oh, no! He put his power bomb too low. That's very unfortunate, because I'm trying to remember this. I don't know if he needs another one. This part of the game always is a little confusing. I think he's fine. Don't remember. Boxmeister making short work. Ridley, but no drops. Wow, and that's right. So Eagle's going to have to refill here, because he does need one more. That's right. He does have all the missiles in the game, missing 1 super missile tank and 6 of the power bomb tanks. Okay, Boxmeister going back. Gets up to 8 super missiles. He's feeling much more comfortable now. But that was really ridiculous, getting 0. No super drops from Ridley. He was in a bad mood today. But now Eagle should be fine after, because normally you don't heal there. Normally there wouldn't be another heal, I don't believe, for the rest of the game. So you should be set, not have to worry about anything. Boxmeister gonna attempt jumpy, going from below, still getting it. Nice. And there, Eagle collects the out-of-the-way power bombs. very far out of the way. Now he can make his way back. So he's just about done. Just has a few more items to collect. Fortunately, he does have to pass through some rooms a second time. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of rooms that you just arbitrarily have to go through twice because that's just how the power bomb routing works out. It's kind of unfortunate, but if an early power bomb could be found, you know, it definitely would change that. But as of now, there's really any leads to that either. So Eagle making his way out, Boxmeister sparking up, and he did New Fair. He did early Brinstar. He does. Someone correct me in chat. Oh, no, that's right. He missed. Not missed, but skipped this missile up here. But he did miss. Yeah, he missed the missile that you sparked to. Okay, it looks like no, he's not going back for that. Is it faster to get it now, or would it be faster to get it later? I'm not sure. I would think later, actually, because he sparked up and passed by the door, so he'd have to go around and turn back. So he's probably still fine. I really don't want him to forget it. I think I'll just send him a message just to be safe. Well, Eagle making his way back to some rooms we already visited. They are a little bit faster now that he has power bombs. So that makes it a little bit easier. It's Boxmeister. Going for the spark. Looks like he missed the ball spark. Well, that's right. Eagle has to do lower ship cleanup. Boxmeister had a very different strat for ball spark. Not one that I'm used to. Very cool. And he's going to make his way up. He's fought both bosses. All he needs now, he's cleaned up early Brinstar. All he has to do is get Longbeam and head over to Torium as Eagle finishes up cleaning Chozodia. All right. So Eagle is done, I think, with this cleanup. Just has to head on over. He is missing one energy tank, but that energy tank you get right before the end of the game. So that's why there's a discrepancy there. I think I'll message Boxmeister once Eagle finishes, so I have some time. I'm not multitasking because watching two races or two streams is hard enough. And he's going to be going through Torian and Suitless, so he has some time. Eagle using 2 missiles on that, what are they called? Biosparks, I think? That enemy, usually on your way through it the first time, you use a super missile, but this time you want to conserve those a little bit, and I don't think it's any slower to use a regular missile. Boxmeister doing really, really well on his ammo. Has plenty of items, and what's this? That is an interesting grouping strat. He's going to group the Metroids. That's much, much riskier, but definitely a lot cooler. Props to him. The worst Metroid room here. Wow, these are some quick rooms. He's getting good drops, so good on him. Eagle having no trouble with the base jump for the E-Tank as he fights the final boss. The worst thing you could see in a run is getting to Mecha Ridley and then him dying in 6 super missiles. Atomics, yes, that's the name of the enemy. Because Ridley has almost 3 times as much health if you've 100% the game. So it's kind of make sure, at the end of the game that you have actually 100% it. I did have a race, I believe last week, where I got to Ridley and then he died in 6 supers, and I was very sad. But sometimes that's just the way it goes with all the different route variations that can come up from glass tube and door clip and all that. It'd be a little hard to keep track of. And now he's in the final escape. Boxmeister making his way through Mother Brain's room. He has a ton of missiles. Fortunately, missiles are not as useful as supers right now, but still doing a great job. He has the 4 missiles to have a quick fight. Oh, gets bopped in the lava. Alright, and now he can run up against Mother Brain and get his speed boost going. While Eagle going for escape spark of the... Yeah. Oh, the stream's buffering a little bit. And he gets it. Fortunately, I missed the trick, but I saw the spark. And just has to kill the Black Pirates. Both runners in the escape sequence at the same time, funny enough. And there he goes. Finishing with a time of... Oh, my voice is a bit robotic. Must be the internet then. Eagle finishes with a time of 1:11:42. Boxmeister has reset his timer out, and he's reset the game too. Alright, looks like Boxmeister's gonna take the interview. But GG to both runners. Boxmeister, definitely huge props for the different route taking on the second. It's definitely pretty courageous. And it's a shame to see a death, but it's a gamble. So we'll see if we can get him in here for an interview. I believe he should have the link. So we'll just have to give him a minute. Eagle, it doesn't look like he's gonna... You don't have an invite? Alright. Let's see. So yeah, we get this. Alright, just copy paste. Works great. I have to mark Eagles winner. Okay, I do not know how to do that. I will check Discord and see. I'm also unsure of the SRL times. Looks like Boxmeister's here.
Hi.
Hey. So, you had an unfortunate death, but really huge props to you for the route second time around. That was it was really cool.
Figured I'd experiment a little bit with that. I mean, I was for some reason getting a little bit nervous when I started with Norfair, and at that moment I should have already noted to myself that I should have gone for both heals, because I went for the first one. Right. Because I kind of had to, and yeah, I was playing very well. For some reason, I was feeling the nerves. So yeah, it went downhill from there. I started making mistakes. I lost health, and
Yeah, it's. I mean, it was just that one room, pretty much, because I think your health was fine, going into it, but that's definitely one of the more tricky heated rooms.
Yeah,
Um,
that
yeah.
that last heated room of that entire Norfair segment. Yeah, that's basically, well, the second to last. Basically the one I find the hardest, because health management can be in a bit of an iffy spot there, especially if you have to go for the first out of the two heals instead of the second one, because I much prefer that I can skip the heal before the heated series of heated rooms and take the one at screw attack.
Right.
And yeah, I figured I'd go for a bit of a early Brinstar and experiment with New Fair. It was actually my first time trying out New Fair.
Really? Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
wondering, have you done early Brinstar before?
I have done early Brinstar before, not in races, but I do know how to do the bomb jumps to some
Right.
extent. To some extent, I mean, it's not as practiced as my late Brinstar, but they're not too far apart in level for me.
Right, right. It's still very impressive. That's not typically something you see someone just kind of like, oh, I think I'll go for, early Brinstar. Just pull that out. A lot of really tough bomb jumps. And then seeing the New Fair on your first try, too, your first run of New Fair. I'm still not super familiar with that route either.
I don't know the exact details either. I still need to ask John, for example, for a few of those. I was going like, let's see. I know they skip ice beam and such for later, but yeah, the part where you do the spark is the part where it's a little bit blurry what you kind of exactly have to do there.
Right.
But nevertheless, I was actually was kind of nice to do.
Yeah, definitely. Some variety as well. I was impressed. I didn't know Eagle did early Brinstar as well.
Eagle is. I know Eagle can do both as well. He's had world records of 100% with both
Right.
late Brinstar and early Brinstar. And he improved his current PB is actually early Brinstar. His world record he got before that. One of the older ones is late Brinstar PB actually. So he's very familiar with both.
Right. And I think he took the same route Scotty did in the earlier race by opting to skip the door and just do that later. So that's definitely, a lot harder strats, but you really got to be in that mindset for it.
Yeah, the door glitch is relatively new, and Eagle is kind of when quote unquote is sort of retirement before that. So I figured he's not as familiar with it.
Right, right. I have only learned door clip. I've never actually had a run where I didn't do door clip.
Well, I can tell you that I don't know door clip the clip yet either.
Oh, really? Yeah, I do
Yeah.
a I don't know if anyone else does this. I do a pause buffer for it. And it's like basically free. You lose a couple seconds, but like yeah, it's worth it to have that consistency in the route. For me at least.
I should start learning it though. To be fair, it is a really nice thing. I just hadn't had the time yet to learn it.
Right. Right.
But at the very least, I'm glad that my new fair experimenting went kind of well today.
Yeah, I know. I mean, everything looked pretty much right. I got kind of confused because you skip ice beam and then figure out when you get that, but because you spark up and then get it later.
Yeah, well, the intention with that spark at the bottom is that you actually reach the top. It's the same as the Ridley exit spark.
Right.
But I kind of messed up the placement.
Yeah, but the idea was there. It was the same route, getting that one missile on the way.
Yeah, the most optimal version there is to get it. It's almost like I did the way I did it. You get a shine break there. You pick up the missile and spark up. Do the heated room above ice beam. Pick up ice beam and then take the shortcut down again.
Right.
Because the ice beam area is a lot faster if you have high jump and screw attack.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's actually where the time save is if you're really on a high skill level like John, for example.
And then also you don't do that first heated room, and you save that health, so you can potentially avoid a heal.
Yeah, I for safety I did the heal at screw attack, but the way my health was when I exited the second to last heated room there, you can actually forgo that heal. So it allows you, especially if you do a late rinser route, to forgo both heals. And that makes it a really fast route. The time save is on being able to skip both heals and actually having screw attack and high jump in the ice beam area, I think. Although you do lose a little bit of time of traveling up and down, but it's not as much. So they're in comparison, and it's a bit more consistent, I believe.
Right, and it's also kind of preference. If you want that extra health, if you want to do things in that order, if you want that consistency and you prefer that, then you can go for it. And that's one thing that's great about this game, having so many different route variations that are mostly similar, that you just do whatever you prefer.
Yeah, you can do a lot. You can do a lot of stuff with the 100% category in terms of variations. There's really a lot of routes viable, actually.
Yeah, I know. We've been seeing plenty throughout the whole tournament. So, but yeah, you did put on a good show. I think it's great to see you, not just give up after the first death. Keep playing.
I was also like, the chance is very, very small that the Eagle will mess up, especially if he's watching the stream, because then he will just take the safety. Well, he did that at the Sutra, so at that point I knew that unless he forgot an item that I had lost, basically.
Right. I believe for the tournament, it's like ever so slightly in your interest to like not forfeit. But like, I mean, I missed an item on my last race with you, and I just forfeited. But like, if you have the time, you're like the most like optimal thing would be just to do a second run, because it gets put in as 9 hours, but that's not as big of a deal because that's like the fourth criteria. So it only matters if you're tied on the first 3 things that determine like your rank in the tournament.
Yeah, so I'm currently at 1-2 in terms of wins versus losses.
Well, I'm at 0-2, so one more win than me. But
I mean, it's given how well Eagle did, I wouldn't have won this in 100 years. Let's be really honest here. But
maybe not 100 years. You could have, maybe in like 5 if you spent every day playing. But there was a pretty big difference in PBs, and Eagle played really well, got that 111. I know he's capable of a 110, but a 110 in a race is really difficult. We can't all be Scotty and get a 109 in a race. But
that man plays like a machine. That's ridiculous.
I know. But GG's to both runners, and let's take a look at the schedule. Do you happen to know when the next race is?
I can check the schedule for Speed Gaming. Let me see. It's at 5 p.m. EDT is a Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo Tournament race.
It looks like all that's left for today.
Yeah, That's on Speed Gaming 1. On the other Speed Gaming channel I do, it's very quiet, but that's mostly because GDQ is going on.
Oh yeah,
still.
that's right. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I don't know where I'd check. But I think for this tournament, there isn't a race for 4 days. I think someone said. So we'll just have to wait a little bit. But GDQ is going on. Everybody should definitely check that out. A lot of great runs there.
Yeah, they're going into the final afternoon. They're on the final afternoon / evening. So definitely check that out. I'd advise.
Right. And yeah, anything else you want to add?
Nah, better execution next time, and maybe I'll just practice some new fair or something.
Right. Well, still, you did a great job. GG's all around. See you guys all next time.
Yep. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.